Why, hello. Vixel from the future here. So I wanted to give a warning for this video because there's a lot of, how do I say this? A lot of topics that not everybody might be comfortable with me discussing. I know it's a children's book, I'm aware, but this has to be said, and here's the warning. So the warning is for animal abuse, racism, blood and gore, blood and gore mention. Like it's not really getting shown, but there's a mention there. Bullying. Then there's somebody being set on fire. That's still in the book. In general, there's a lot of stuff that people might be scared of. So, just as a heads up, I wanted to warn you guys about what the contents of this video. So, if you're not comfortable with any of these topics, I can understand, and I'll see you in the next video. But now, let's get on to the video. Why hello. The poll has decided that I recently, or I posted a few days ago, so it's not really recently. But, why hello, I'm Vixa, and this is my son Frederick. Finally get to see us in person, after all the edits and the ranking video I made. Today we're discussing Shockheaded Peter. We're discussing both the English version, the German version, the history, and we're reading the books. So first of all, we need some history. Like, where is Shockheaded Peter from? When was it created? Who was the author? All that stuff. So let's get started. So the original title of Shockheaded Peter is Struwwelpeter. Now, Struwwelpeter was created in 1844. Now, this might come as a surprise, because I don't think many people know this. But it was created in 1844 by Heinrich Hoffmann. Heinrich Hoffmann created the book as a Christmas present for his son, Karl, who was I think the eldest of his kids. He was like 3 at the time it was created. It was one of the eldest kids. He had like 3 kids. So when Karl was 3, it was about Christmas time. Heinrich Hoffmann tried to find a gift for him because it's Christmas. You have to get gifts for your children if you have parents. So he did, and went around and found a book with sketches of benches and tables. He looked at that and was like, how is a child supposed to have joy in just sketches of benches? So he came up with his own idea. You see, Henry Hoffman was a psychiatrist who worked at a psychiatry. And he had patients where whenever the patients acted up, he would always draw them like images, and it would calm them down. So his stories were inspired by the patients, as he saw what the patients brought to the table for him, and was like, okay, I'm gonna turn it into a book. So he did, presented it on Christmas Day, and when the relatives saw it, and all the relatives and friends, they were like, how about you publish it? At first, Heinrich Hoffmann was very skeptical. He was like, should I? Like, he wasn't really, I wouldn't say confident, but like, he just made this for his son. He didn't make this to like show the world. So he then, after some convincing, published it a year later in 1845. So, Shockheaded was released to the public in 1845, but was created a year prior. Now, Shockheaded went for different versions, like different versions. What do I mean by that? So, like, there was like a first edition, second edition, third edition, fourth edition, and all that. And it was said that Heinrich Hoffmann looked closely at the artists or illustrators to make sure his work doesn't get cutesified. So it doesn't get made cute and it keeps this like gruesome charm. Which I personally am lucky he did, because this book here is so good. I love it. Now, oh boy. Now this version I have, this is the 5th edition. It's considered the original because not only does it have the characters, like the stories in like in the right names, but then stories have the right titles, but it also is in the original order. Because I own a previous version where the stories are not in order. So the one I have here, all stories are in order. With many parodies go off of this version's order of the story. Like, every parody I've seen goes like this. I think it's Ultimate. Like, Ultimate starts off with, like, Frederick's story, I think? Like, Ultimate and Abrechnung, they change it a bit. But besides that, the majority, they do it like this. Okay. Now, we got the background behind us. Now let's start with how I discovered the book. I was around 11, 12, 10, 11, I'm not really sure. But I was at a therapy center, and they had a library of kids' books. And I saw this like book. It had both Shockheaded and also had Max and Moritz paired into one. So then I read the two, and I was like, I really like Shockheaded because I really liked the clothing. Like, the clothing is so different. Like, I've seen boys in dresses. Nowadays, that would like get seen as, I don't know, like cross-dressing or somebody trying to be like a boy just dressing femininely. Back in the day, all the young boys in Germany, that was normal. It was normal for certain boys to wear dresses. And nobody complained back in the day. I think only the adults, like the adult men, didn't wear dresses. They wore pants and jackets. But the boys, like the little boys, they weren't allowed to wear dresses in Germany back in the 1840s. That was completely okay, at least based on Shockheaded. Now, where do I get started? Which one do we want to read first? Do you want to do English or do you want to do German? Because I'm going to read both versions, just for the record. I'm reading both versions. So, Frederick, you get to choose. Okay, so Frederick made a decision, because I usually go off of his decision. He's the one deciding this type of stuff. And he said, read the German version and the English version. So, like, read both. Oh boy, is this going to be something? So, let's see. Alright, Frederick, do you want to start off with the English or the German version? Alright. German it is. Oh boy, oh boy. So, I'm gonna read the first page in German and English. and we're gonna compare. So first up is the German version, which goes like this. Wenn die Kinder artig sind, kommt zu ihnen das Christkind. Wenn sie ihre Suppe essen und das Brot auch nicht vergessen, wenn sie ohne Lärm zu machen, still sind bei den 7 Sachen, beim Spazierengehen auf den Gassen, von Mama sich führen lassen, bringt es ihnen gut genug und ein schönes Bilderbuch. So basically, if you behave, you get like pretty things. Like a picture book, for example. Now, this is what the original German tale tells us. The original German first page. Meanwhile, the English gives us more information. When the children have been good, that is, be it understood, good at mealtimes, good at play, good all night and good all day, they shall have the pretty things Merry Christmas always brings. Naughty romping girls and boys tear their clothes and make a noise. Spoiler, pinafores and frocks deserve no Christmas box. Such as these shall never look at this pretty picture book. As you can see here, this version, so the original German version, it just says what happens to good kids. Meanwhile, the English version also describes naughty children, like what naughty children do. So yeah, starting out with Shockheaded Peter next. Now, Peter's story is not really a story like all the others. It's more like a character description of sorts. So yeah, I really never saw it as a story. Like it's just a paragraph at this point. Like a jeez. English version is good. It's the same, around the same length. Ugh. Okay, Frederick, gotta put you over there, cause gotta have more space. I'm gonna put you in your. I'm gonna bring you back in your story, okay? While that's happening, we're gonna put you here. Okay, let's start with the German version. Sieh einmal, hier steht vor der Struwwelpeter. An den Händen beiden ließ sich nicht schneiden. Seine Nägel fast ein Jahr, kämmen ließ nicht sein Haar. Pfui, ruft ein jeder, Gasger Struwwelpeter. So basically, Peter was a boy that really didn't like to comb his hair or cut his nails, which resulted in his hair becoming very like a flying mane, or just very disheveled, and his nails became very long, like he had very long tubes stuck to his nails. That's how it looks like, at least in the German version. Okay, now let's look at the English version. Just look at him, there he stands, with his nasty hair and hands. See, his nails are never cut, they're grimmed as black as sod. The Sloven, I declare, never once combed his hair. Anything to me is sweeter than to see Shockheaded Peter. Alright, this is basically just mostly the same, to be fully honest. This is mostly the same. So yeah. Next up, you have a story that's 3 pages long. One of the longer ones. Which, fun fact, is Frederick's story. So your story is next. Right, we're gonna compare page by page. Or, should we do page by page, or is that too long? Okay, so I decided against that. I think I'll just take too long. Anyway, let's start with the German version.
Die Geschichte vom bösen Friederich. Der Friederich, das war ein arger Wüterich. Er fing die Fliegen in dem Haus und riss ihnen die Flügel aus. Er schlug die Stühle und Vögel tot, die Katzen litten große Not. Und höre nur, wie böse er war, peitschte seine Gretchen gar. Am Brunnen stand ein großer Hund, trank Wasser dort mit seinem Mund, der mit der Peitsche zu sich schlich, der bitterböse Friederich, und schlug den Hund der heute sehr und trat und schlug ihn immer mehr. Da biss der Hund ihm in das Bein, recht tief bis in das Blut hinein. Der bitterböse Friederich, der schrie und weinte bitterlich. Jedoch nach Hause lief der Hund und trug die Peitsche in den Mund. Ins Bett muss Friedrich nun hinein, Litten fühlen Schmerz an seinem Bein, und der Herr Doktor sitzt dabei und gibt ihm bittere Arznei. Der Hund an Friedrichs Tischchen saß, wo er den großen Kuchen aß auch die gute Leberwurst und trank den Wein für seinen Durst. Die Peitsche hat er mitgebracht und nimmt sie sorglich sehr in Acht. So basically, this story is about a boy named Frederick. And Frederick is a very horrible boy. He kills animals, he whips people, and then one day he whips a dog, who in the German version he's unnamed, but in the English version he is named, which is a difference between these versions. So he whips the dog, then the dog bites him in the leg. Fred is stuck to the bed, probably with a very broken leg or a broken foot. Okay, more leg when I look at the pictures. And then the dog just eats his food. Man. Now, let's look at the English version. Story of Cruel Frederick. Here is cruel Frederick, see, a horrid wicked boy was he. He caught the flies, poor little things, and then tore off their tiny wings. He killed the birds and broke the chairs, and threw the kitten down the stairs. And all far worse than all beside, he whipped his Mary till she cried. The trough was full, and faithful Tray came out to drink one sultry day. He wagged his tail and wet his lip, and cruel Fred snatched up his whip, and whipped poor Tray till he was sore, and kicked and whipped him more and more. At this good Tray grew very red, and growled and bit him till he bled. Then you should only have been by to see how Fred did scream and cry. But good Tray... Wait, no. I apologize. So Frederick had to go to bed. His leg was very sore and red. Doctor came and shook his head, and made a very great to-do, and gave him nasty physic too. Physic in this case is supposed to be medicine. But good Dog Tray is happy now. He has no time to say powwow. He seats himself in Frederick's chair, and laughs to see the nice things there. The soup he swallows sup by sup, and eats the pies and puddings up. Okay, that was a lot to consume. Was that Frederick? So in the English version, Fred is mostly the same. It just describes his crimes a little more. But in the English version, the dog is referred to as Tray. And this reminds me of the manga, because in the manga he also gets given the name. But in the original German version he doesn't have a name. Also, I have no idea why they set the line, he has no time to say powwow. Powwow? Dogs don't say powwow. No idea why they decided to do that. It's very odd. But besides that, it's mostly the same. Just that physic is used, which in this case is supposed to be medicine, I guess? No idea what that has to do with physic. Anyway, next story. The story of Harriet. Now this story is quite depressing. one of the most disturbing ones out of all of them. I've seen the image and it's pretty iconic in general. Very iconic image. So, let's read the original German version, which is only 2 pages long. So, pretty short. At least shorter than Frederick's story. Die gar traurige Geschichte mit dem Feuerzeug. Paulinchen war allein zu Haus, die Eltern waren beide aus. Als sie nun durch das Zimmer sprang, in leichtem Mut und Sing und Sang, da sah sie plötzlich vor sich stehen, ein Feuerzeug, nett anzusehen. Ei, sprach sie, ei, wie schön und fein, das muss ein trefflich Spielzeug sein. Ich zünde mir ein Hützchen an, wie's oft die Mutter hat getan. Und wenn zumalms die Katzen erheben ihre Tatzen, sie drohen mit den Pfoten, der Vater hat's verboten. Miau, 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 miau. Lass stehen, sonst brennst du lichterloh. Paulinchen hört die Katzen nicht, das Heizchen brennt gar hell und licht. Das flackert lustig, knistert laut, grad wie ihr's auf dem Bilde schaut. So, that sentence I just read said, it's like on the picture. So I'm going to show you the picture in question. So this is the picture that they referred to in this version. Paulinchen aber freute sich sehr und sprang im Zimmer hin und her. Doch menzumals die Katzen erheben ihre Tatzen, sie drohen mit den Pfoten. Die Mutter hat's verboten. Miau, 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 miau. Wirf's weg, sonst brennst du lichterloh. Doch weh, die Flamme fasst das Kleid, die Schürze brennt, es leuchtet weit, es brennt die Hand, es brennt das Haar, es brennt das ganze Kind sogar. Und wenn zumal die schreien, gar jämmerlich zu zweien, herbei, herbei, wer hilft geschwind, im Feuer steht das ganze Kind. Miau, 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 so hilft das Kind brennt lichterloh. Verbrannt ist alles ganz und gar, das arme Kind mit Haut und Haar. Ein Häuflein Asche bleibt allein und beide Schuhe so hübsch und fein. Und wenn zumalms die Kleinen, die sitzen da und weinen. Miau, 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 wo sind die armen Eltern wo? Und ihre Tränen fließen wie's Bächlein auf den Wiesen. So, basically, this story is about Harriet, who is left alone by her parents, and she discovers a lighter, which is a difference between this version and the English version, because in the English version it's matches, but in the original it's said to be a lighter. So she finds the lighter, starts lighting it up, or at least she's lighting up like one of these like wooden sticks or she's lighting a match up, like a wooden match with the lighter. The cats, meanwhile, are trying to warn her. They're like, no, put it away, you're gonna burn alive. Harriet doesn't listen, burns alive. Then the cats cry, meanwhile her shoes are left. Quite depressing. Quite depressing. Now let's go to the English version. Let's see how much they changed besides the fact they say it's matches instead of lighter. Yeah, it's still 2 pages, okay. Dreadful story about Harriet and the matches. It almost makes me cry to tell what foolish Harriet befell. Mama and nurse went out one day and left her all alone at play. Now on a table close at hand, a box of matches chanced to stand. Goodness. And kind Mama and nurse had told her that if she touched them they would scold her. But Harriet said, oh, what a pity, for when they burn it is so pretty. They crackle so and spit and flame, Mama too often does the same. The pussycats heard this, and they began to hiss, and stretched their claws and raised their paws. Meow, they said, meow, meow, you'll burn to death if you do so. But Harriet would not take advice. She lit a match, it was so nice. It crackled so, it burned so clear, exactly like the picture here. Okay, so I can't see very well, but it's the picture below this, like the one below this one. She jumped for joy and ran about and was too pleased to put it out. The pussycat saw this and said, "Oh, naughty, naughty miss," and stretched her claws and raised her paws. "'Tis very, very wrong, you know. Meow, 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 meow. You will be burned if you do so." And see, oh, what a dreadful thing! The fire has caught her apron string. Her apron burns, her arms, her hair. She burns all over everywhere. Then how the pussycats did mew. What else, poor pussies, could they do? They screamed for help, 'twas all in vain. So then they said, "We'll scream again. Make haste, meow, meow. She'll burn to death, we told her so." So she was burned with all her clothes, and arms and hands, and eyes and nose, till she had nothing more to lose, except her little scarlet shoes. Nothing else but these was found among her ashes on the ground. When the good cat sat beside the smoking ashes, how they cried. "Meow, meow, meow, meow. What will Mama and Nursey do?" The tears ran down their cheeks so fast, they made a little pond at last. So, in the English version, not only they changed that it's matches instead of a lighter, they also changed that it is Mama and Nursey, because the original story is the parents, and in the English version it's just the mom and the nurse. Also, they actually mentioned the color of the shoes in the English version. They said scarlet shoes. You know, in the German version, to look again, it just says her two shoes. Her two pretty shoes. So yeah, that's very much that story. Next up, we come to the most offensive story in this entire book. I hate this story, I do. I hate it. I really hate it. It's quite offensive, and the imagery, I don't even want to show it. Like, it's not as offensive in the original version, so in the German version, but in the English version it's pretty bad. So yeah, but it's part of the book. You have to read it. So here we go. Die Geschichte von den schwarzen Buben. Es ging spazieren vor dem Tor ein kulpig rabenschwarzer Moor. Die Sonne schien ihm aufs Gesicht, aufs Gehörn. Da nahm er seinen Sonnenschirm. Da kam der Ludwig hergerannt und trug sein Fähnchen in der Hand. Der Kaspar kam mit schnellem Schritt, brachte seine Brezel mit. Und auch der Willems war nicht steif und brachte seinen runden Reif. Die schrien und lachten alle drei, als dort das Moorchen ging vorbei, weil es so schwarz die Tinte sei. Da kam der große Nikolaus mit seinem großen Tintenfass, der sprach: Ihr Kinder, hört mir zu und lasst den Mohrenhübsch in Ruhe. Was kann denn dieser Mohr dafür, dass er so weiß nicht ist wie ihr? Oh. Die Buben aber folgten nicht und lachten ihm ins Angesicht und lachten ärger als zuvor über den armen schwarzen Mohr. Der Nikolaus wurde bös und wild, du siehst es hier auf diesem Bild. Er packte gleich die Buben fest, beim Armband, Kopf, bei Rock und West. Den Wilhelm und den Ludewig, den Kasper auch, der wehrte sich. Er tuckte sie in die Tinte tief, wie auch der Kasper Feuer rief. Bis übern Kopf ins Tintenfass tunkt sie der große Nikolaus. Now if you're wondering why I'm turning the book, it's because one of the pages, and this is the only page in the book, this page is very much spread differently. It's not horizontal, it's like this. I don't know what it's called. Horizontal and what is this? I don't know. Let's just finish this. Du siehst sie hier, wie schwarz sie sind, viel schwärzer als das Mohrenkind. Der Moorfahrer aus dem Sonnenschein, die Tintenbuben hinterdrein. Und hätten sie nicht so gelacht, hätte Niklas sie nicht schwarz gemacht. This story is just racism. This is racism. This entire story is racism. It's about a dude who's not named in this story or in English version, but in the fandom we call him Colin, so I'm gonna refer to him as Colin when I'm discussing the story. So Colin is just minding his own business, and then he gets bullied by three racist kids. Then there's some random god called Nicholas. In the English version he's called Agrippa. Then Agrippa shows up and is like, "Hey yo, can you guys stop? Just because he's a different ethnicity than you guys, that's not a reason to bully him. Just because he's a different ethnicity." They don't listen, and as a consequence, he puts them in ink, and the last page is so horrible. Oh god. This story is so bad. It's just racism. Racism. Oh god. English version is way worse. Way worse. This English version is way worse than the German version. And the German version wasn't really fun either. Just listen to this. Story of the Inky Boys. As he had often done before, the woolly-headed blackamoor one nice fine summer's day went out to see the shops and walk about. And as he found it hot, poor fellow, he took with him his green umbrella. The Edward little noisy wag ran out and laughed and waved his flag. And William came in jacket trim and brought his wooden hoop with him. And Oliver, too, snatched up his toys and joined the other naughty boys. So one and all set up a roar and laughed and hooted more and more. They kept on singing, "Only think." Oh, I'm not gonna say this. You're black as ink. I'm not gonna say what they called them. That feels like a slur. Feels like a slur to say. Now tall Agrippa lived close by, so tall he almost touched the sky. He had a mighty inkstand too, in which a great goose feather grew. This mask, I swear to God. Boys, leave the blackamoor alone. For if he tries with all his might, he cannot change from black and white. Did I forget he called out an angry tone? No, I already said that. But they did not mind a bit what a great Agrippa said of it, and went on laughing as before, and hooting at the blackamoor. Then a great Agrippa foams with rage. Look at him in his very page. I'd be mad too, Agrippa. I'd be mad too. He sees Arthur, seizes Ned, takes William by his little head. They may scream and kick and call. Into the ink he dips them all. Into the inkstand 1, 2, 3, till they are black as black can be. Turn over now and you shall see. Even the English version has the stupid page. See, there they are, and there they run. The blackamoor enjoys the fun. They have been made as black as crows, quite black all over eyes and nose, and legs and arms and heads and toes, and trousers, pinafores, and toys. The silly little inky boys. Because they set up such a roar and tease the harmless blackamoor. I like the others in this book. Okay, Frederick's debatable. Yes, you are debatable, my son. You are debatable. They are the ones who deserved it. These motherfuckers deserved what happened to them. I swear to God. They deserved it. So basically, just like in the original, it's about racism. This story is painful to read. It is. Colin deserved better. He did not deserve this. And his appearance in the English version is way worse than in the German version. In the German version, at the beginning he looks alright, but then at the end he looks kind of very bad. In the English version he looks bad throughout the entire book. I'm not going to show any of the images of Colin specifically. So yeah. If you want to see it for yourself, please look the book up, look it up. There's an English version online as well. Next up is a not offensive story. The story of the shooting man. Let's flip this over. Which is 3 pages long, so it's the same length as Frederick's. Let's get on to it. Die Geschichte vom wilden Jäger. Es zog der wilde Jägersmann sein grasgrün neues Röcklein an, nahm Ranzen, Pulverhorn und Flint und lief hinaus ins Feld geschwind. Er trug die Brille auf der Nas und wollte schießen tot den Has. Das Häschen sitzt im Blätterhaus und lacht den blinden Jäger aus. Jetzt schien die Sonne gar zu sehr, da ward ihm sein Gewehr zu schwer. Er legte sich ins grüne Gras, das alles sah der kleine Has. Und als der Jäger schnarcht und schlief, der Has ganz heimlich zu ihm lief und nahm die Flint und auch die Brill und schlich davon ganz leis und still. Die Brille hat das Häschen jetzt sich selbst auf sein Nas gesetzt und schießen will's auf dem Gewehr, der Jäger aber fürcht sich sehr. Er läuft davon und springt und schreit, so hilf ihr Leut, so hilf ihr Leut. Da kommt der wilde Jägersmann zuletzt beim tiefen Brünnchen an. Er springt hinein, die Not war groß, es schießt der Has die Flinte los. Des Jägers Frau am Fenster saß und trank aus ihrer Kaffeetass. Die schoss das Häschen ganz in zwei, da rief die Frau, oh wei, oh wei. Doch bei dem Brötchen heimlich saß des Häschens Kind, der kleine Has. Der hockte da im grünen Gras, dem floss der Kaffee auf die Nas. Er schrie, wer hat mich da verbrannt? Und hielt den Löffel in der Hand. So first of all, this story is about a man, a hunter specifically, which in the English version they call him the shooting man, or the man that went out shooting. He's a hunter, just say he's a hunter. I don't get why they make it so long in the English version. But the hunter goes to hunt the rabbit, like hunters do. The rabbit outsmarts him, grabs his gun and chases him around with it. Eventually he wants to shoot him, but the hunter's like, no, I'm going into a pond. So he does. His wife's coffee cup gets shot into, and the hare, which is the name of the rabbit in the story, is called the hare. The hare's child, to be specific, gets burned by the coffee. And in the English version, Both the hare and its child get referred to as he, so as male pronouns. Meanwhile, in the English version, they get addressed with female pronouns. Which at this point I'm questioning why they just didn't do S, like it. Why didn't they just call it it? Why did they have to gender a rabbit? Why are you gendering a rabbit? Like, what's up with that? Why did they decide to gender a rabbit? Okay, now to the English version. Story of the man that went out shooting. This is the man that shoots the hares. This is the coat he always wears. With game bag, powder, horn, and gun, he's going out to have some fun. Finds it hard without a pair of spectacles to shoot the hare. The hare sits snug in leaves and grass and laughs to see the green man pass. Now as the sun grew very hot, and a heavy gun had got, he lay down underneath a tree and went to sleep, as you may see. And while he slept like any top, I don't understand what that means, the little hare came hop, 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 took gun and spectacles, and then on her hind legs went off again. The green man wakes and sees her place, the spectacles upon her face. And now she's trying all she can to shoot the sleepy green-coat man. He cries and screams and runs away. The hare runs after him all day, and hears him call out everywhere, "Help, fire, for help! Help, fire, help! The hare, the hare!" At last he stumbled at the well, head over ears, and in he fell. The hare stopped short, took aim, and hark! Bang! With the gun she missed her mark. The poor man's wife was drinking up her coffee in her coffee cup. The gunshot cup and saucer through. "Oh dear," cried she, "what shall I do?" There lives close by the cottage there the hare's own child, the little hare. And while she stood upon her toes, the coffee fell and burned her nose. "Oh dear," she cried, with spoon in hand, "such fun I don't understand." To be honest, the English version is a little more confusing. To be fully honest, very confusing, and all in all, kind of disturbing. If you really think about it. Like, why is a hare running around with a gun? Why? Anyway, next story is I think one of the most famous ones. Story of Little Sucker Farm. Well, the Farm Sucker, as we do in German. So, this story is 2 pages long. Well, this version is one. It's like on 1 page. Just on the back of 1 page. Basically just 1 page. But not really. Let's read the... Okay, we're almost done. It's I think the 6th story. So let's get on with it. Die Geschichte vom Daumenlutscher. "Konrad!" sprach die Frau Mama. "Ich gehe aus und du bleibst da. Sei hübsch ordentlich in Form, bis nach Hause ich wiederkomme. Und vor allem, Konrad, hör, lutsche nicht am Daumen mehr. Denn der Schneider mit der Schere kommt sonst ganz geschwind daher. Und die Daumen schneidet er ab, als ob Papier es wär. Fort geht die Mutter und wupp, der Daumen in den Mund. Bautz, da geht die Türe auf und nach einem schnellen Lauf springt der Schneider in die Stub zu den Daumenlutscher Bub. Weh, jetzt geht es klipp und klapp, mit der Schere die Daumen ab. Mit der großen scharfen Schere. Hei, da schreit der Konrad sehr. Als die Mutter kommt nach Haus, sieht der Konrad traurig aus. Ohne Daumen steht er dort, die sind alle beide fort. Okay, so this story is about a kid called Conrad who has a habit of sucking his thumbs. His mother tells him, "Alright, I'll be outside. Don't suck your thumbs, otherwise a man with giant scissors will come to your house, will break into our house and cut off your thumbs." Conrad doesn't listen, gets his thumbs cut off. Dave stands there sad. Now, I know the differences between the German and the English. First of all, I have to look. The mother actually has dialogue at the end of the story. Like, in the original German version, she doesn't really have dialogue. At the end of the story, but in English she does. So, let's take a look. Story of Little Sucker Thumb. One day Mama said, "Conrad, dear, I must go out and leave you here. But mind now, Conrad, what I say. Don't suck your thumb while I'm away." The great tall tailor always comes to little boys who suck their thumbs. And ere they dream what he's about, he takes his great sharp scissors out and cuts their thumbs clean off, and then, they never grow again. Mama had scarcely turned her back. The thumb was in, alack, alack. The door flew open, in he ran, the great long red-legged scissor man. All children see the tailors come, and cut out little sucker thumb. Snip, snap, snip, the scissors go, and Conrad cries out, "Oh, oh, oh!" Snip, snap, snip, they go so fast that both his thumbs are off at last. Mama comes home, there Conrad stands, looks quite sad and shows his hands. "Ah," said Mama, "I knew he'd come, the naughty little sucker thumb." So, that's all. In the German version, she just calls out his name. Meanwhile, in the English version, she calls him Conrad, dear. Second, in the English version, she's quite cruel. Like, at the end, it's pretty cruel, fucked up to say that to your kid. Like, why are you saying this? Why? Well, the next story is a little shorter. It's only one page. It's like Peter's. Well, it's longer than Peter's. So, next up, the story of Augustus. Good old Augustus. I never liked the story when I was little. I didn't like it. I don't know what, it's just so off and really unrealistic. But nowadays I'm like, I can deal with it. So let's get started. Die Geschichte vom Suppenkasper. Der Kasper, der war kerngesund, ein dicker Bub und kugelrund. Er hatte Backen rot und frisch, die Suppe aß er hübsch bei Tisch. Doch einmal fing er an zu schreien. Ich esse keine Suppe, nein, ich esse meine Suppe nicht. Nein, meine Suppe esse ich nicht. Am nächsten Tag, ja sieh nur her, da war er schon viel magerer. Da fing er wieder an zu schreien. Ich esse keine Suppe, nein, ich esse meine Suppe nicht. Nein, meine Suppe esse ich nicht. Am dritten Tag, oh weh und ach, wie ist der Kasper dünn und schwach. Bereits die Suppe kam herein. Gleich fing er wieder an zu schreien. Ich esse keine Suppe, nein, ich esse meine Suppe nicht. Nein, meine Suppe esse ich nicht. Am vierten Tag endlich gar, der Kasper wie ein Fädchen war, wog vielleicht ein halbes Lot und war am 5. Tage tot. Basically, it's about a boy, Augustus, who's a little overweight, not much, he's a little overweight, and he refuses to eat soup one day. It's not said why. I think it's said in the movie why, because his parents like vanish in the movie. But in the original, it's not said, like at all. And he then proceeds to say three ways in German to say, I don't like soup, or I don't want the soup. Just that in English as well, but hell. Kinda bratty, but you also feel bad for him. Now, English version time. Let's see how much different this version is. Story of Augustus who would not have any soup. Augustus was a chubby lad, fat ruddy cheeks Augustus had, and everybody saw with joy the plump and hearty, healthy boy. He ate and drank as he was told, and never let his soup get cold. But one day, one cold winter's day, he screamed out, "Take the soup away! Oh, take the nasty soup away! I won't have any soup today!" Next day now look, the picture shows how lanky, and lean Augustus grows. Okay, I'm actually gonna show it this time. Basically, that's the story basically in the pictures. Yet though he feels so weak and ill, the naughty fella cried out still. "Not any soup for me, I say! Oh, take the nasty soup away! I won't have any soup today!" Great, I sound like Caillou. Great. The third day comes, oh what a sin, to make himself so pale and thin. Yet when his soup is put on the table, he screams as loud as he is able. "Not any soup for me, I say! Oh, take the nasty soup away! I won't have any soup today." Look at him, now the fourth day's come, he scarcely weighs a sugar plum. He's like a little bit of Fred, and the fifth day he was dead. Yeah, it's basically the same, and I just noticed this detail. In the German version, it doesn't really say when this happens, but in the English version, it says it was on a winter's day. So it was winter, it's cold outside. It's probably sick or something. But you probably like ate soup like all the time because it's outside. The outside's like cold as heck. So yeah. Next up, Philip's story. Fidgety Philip. I know this story's just 3 pages. There's a lot of stories now, 3 pages. More than I remember. Anyway, let's get on with the German version. Die Geschichte von Philip. Ob der Philipp heute still wohl bei Tische sitzen will. Also sprach in ernstem Ton der Papa zu seinem Sohn. Und die Mutter blickte stumm auf dem ganzen Tisch herum. Doch der Philipp hörte nicht, was zu ihm der Vater spricht. Er gaukelt und schaukelt, er trappelt und zappelt, auf dem Stuhle hin und her. Philipp, das missfällt mir sehr. Seht, ihr lieben Kinder, seht, wie es dem Philipp weitergeht. Oben steht es auf dem Bild. Ihr seht, er schaukelt gar zu wild, bis der Stuhl nach hinten fällt. Da ist nichts mehr, was ihn hält. Nach dem Tischtuch greift er, schreit, doch was hilft's zu gleicher Zeit. Fallen Teller, Flaschen Brot, Vater ist in großer Not und die Mutter blicket stumm auf den ganzen Tisch herum. Nun ist Philipp ganz versteckt und der Tisch ist abgedeckt. Was der Vater essen wollt, unten auf der Erde rollt. Suppe, Brot und alle Bissen, alles ist herabgerissen. Die Suppenschüssel ist in 2 und die Eltern stehen dabei. Beide sind gar zornig sehr, haben nichts zu essen mehr. Fun fact about the story. Philip's story is regarded as the first recorded incident of ADHD. I didn't know this back in the day, I know. Now, I'm not sure if I agree, but what do you want to do? So, basically, Philip's story is about a kid that's presumably has ADHD, and his parents are ignoring his antics, and then when he falls over with all the stuff onto him, they're more mad about them not having anything to eat than the safety of their child. Well, screw the parents, I guess. I really hate the parents. Let's read the English version. See what they changed. Or what they added. Story of Fidgety Philip. Let me see if Philip can't be a little gentleman. Let me see if he is able to sit still for once at table. At the table, what says at table. Does Papa bade Philip behave? And Mama looked very grave. But Fidgety Phil, he won't sit still. He wriggles and giggles, and then I declare, swings backwards and forwards and tilts up his chair. Just like any rocking horse, Philip, I am getting cross. No idea what that means. See the naughty Restless child, growing still more rude and wild, till his chair falls over quite. Philip screams with all his might, catches at the cloth, but then that makes matters worse again. Down upon the ground they fall, glasses, plates, knives, forks, and all. Her mamma did fret and frown when she saw them tumbling down, and Papa made such a face. Philip is in sad disgrace. I don't know what that means, but she thought that was an insult for a long time. Where's Philip? Where is he? Fairly covered up, you see. Cloth and all are lying on him. He has pulled down all upon him. What a terrible to-do. Just his glasses snapped in two. Here a knife and there a fork. Philip, this is cruel work. Table also bare and poor papa and poor mamma look quite cross and wonder how they shall have their dinner now. The parents care more about the dinner than they care about their own son. Well, screw those parents, I guess. Screw them. To the second last story. Story of Johnny Head in the Air. Well, in English it just says Johnny Head in the air. But I said in the air. Like, there's so many grammatical errors in this English version. Like, what is this? Well, they just did it intentionally. Anyway. Let's read the German version. Die Geschichte vom Hans Kuck in die Luft. Wenn der Hans zur Schule ging, steht sein Blick am Himmel hing. Nach den Dächern Wolkenschwalben schaut er aufwärts allenthalben. Vor die eigenen Füße dicht, ja, da sah der Bursche nicht. Also, dass ihn jeder ruft, seht den Hans Kuck in die Luft. Kam ein Hund dahergerannt, Hänschen blickt unverwandt. In die Luft, niemand ruft, Hans, gib acht, der Hund ist nah. Was geschah? Was bedauert's, da liegen zwei, Hund und Händchen nebenbei. Einst ging er an Ufersrand mit der Mappe in der Hand. Nach dem blauen Himmel hoch sah er, wo die Schwalbe flog. Also, dass er Kerzengrad immer mehr zum Flusse trat. Und die Fischlein in der Reihe, sind erstaunt, sehr alle drei. Noch ein Schritt und plumps der Hans, stellt hinab, über ganz. Die drei Fischlein, sehr erschreckt, haben sich sogleich versteckt. Doch zum Glück, da kommen zwei Männer aus der Nähe herbei, und die haben ihn mit Stangen aus dem Wasser aufgefangen. Seht, nun steht er triefend nass. Ei, es ist ein schlechter Spaß. Wasser läuft den Armen Wicht aus den Herren ins Gesicht, aus den Kleidern von den Armen, und es friert ihm zum Erbarmen. Doch die Fischlein alle drei schwimmen hurtig gleich herbei, steckens Köpflein aus der Flut, lachen, dass man's hören tut, lachen sofort noch lange Zeit, und die Mappe schwimmt schon weit. Well, that was Johnny's story. So basically, Johnny is a boy that walks around always looking up in the air. Never looks anywhere else, he just looks up the sky. Then the first time he runs into a dog, and the second time he falls into a river and has to be rescued. And probably didn't get sick, and he probably gets like fever or something. And he gets mocked by fishes, so that sucks. Let's read the English version. Story of Johnny Head in the Air. As he trudged along to school, it was always Johnny's rule to be looking at the sky and the clouds that floated by. But what just before him lay in his way, Johnny never thought about, so that everyone cried out, "Look at little Johnny there, little Johnny Head in the Air." Running just in Johnny's way came a little dog one day. Johnny's eyes were still astray, up on high in the sky, and he never heard them cry, "Johnny, mind, the dog is nigh." Bum, dum, down they fell with such a thump, dog and Johnny in a lump. Once ahead, as high as ever, Johnny walked beside the river. Johnny watched the swallows trying, which was cleverest at flying. Oh, what fun! Johnny watched the bright round sun. Going in and coming out, this was all he thought about. So he strode on, only think, to the river's very brink, where the bank was high and steep, and the water very deep, and the fishes in a row stayed to see him coming so. One step more, and oh, sad to tell, headlong and poor Johnny fell, and the fishes in dismay wagged their tails and swam away. There lay Johnny on his face, with his nice red riding case. But as they were passing by, two strong men had heard him cry. And with sticks, these two strong men hooked poor Johnny out again. Oh, you should have seen him shiver when they pulled him from the river. He was in a sorry plight, dripping wet in such a fright. Wet all over everywhere, clothes and arms and face and hair. Johnny never will forget what it is to be so wet. And the fishes, 1, 2, 3, are coming back again, you see. Up they came the moment after to enjoy the fun and laughter. Each poked out his little head and to tease poor Johnny said, "Silly little Johnny, look, you haven't lost your writing book." So basically Johnny's going to school, which, is that mentioned in the original story? Going to school? Yeah, it's mentioned in the original story. So basically Johnny's going to school and he runs into a dog. Then he falls into a river, blah blah blah. I already mentioned. So now the only thing I really noticed that still is kinda off in both versions is they basically bully him. Like, it's like bullying, like at the beginning page. Besides that, it's like, it's just Johnny being an unfortunate soul. Now lastly, let's go through Robert's story. Now in this version I have, after Robert's story is how Shockheaded Peter was created. Basically. Wait. Sorry about that. But let's finish the story. It's a very short one, just 1 page. So let's get on with it. Die Geschichte vom fliegenden Robert. Wenn der Regen niederbraust, wenn der Sturm das Feld durchsaust, bleiben Mädchen oder Buben hübsch daheim in ihren Stuben. Robert aber dachte, nein, das muss draußen herrlich sein. Und im Felde patschet er mit dem Regenschirm umher. Hui, wie pfeift der Sturm und keucht, dass der Baum sich niederbeugt. Seht, den Schirm erfasst der Wind, und der Robert fliegt geschwind, durch die Luft so hoch, so weit. Niemand hört ihn, wenn er schreit. An die Wolken stößt er schon, und der Hut fliegt auch davon. Schirm und Robert fliegen dort durch die Wolken immer fort. Und der Hut fliegt weit voran, stößt zuletzt am Himmel an. Wo der Wind sie hingetragen? Ja, das weiß kein Mensch zu sagen. Basically, Robert goes out in the wind. He goes out in the wind, or better a storm. He goes out in a storm. He does so, and then he gets sucked in by the storm. Now let's read the English version, and I'll give my final thoughts. Story of Flying Robert. When the rain comes tumbling down, in the country or the town, all good little girls and boys stay at home and mind their toys. Robert thought, no one at boys, it is better out of doors. Rain it did, and in a minute, Bob was in it. You see him, silly fella, underneath his red umbrella. What a wind, oh how it whistles, through the trees and flowers and thistles. It has caught his red umbrella, now look at him, little silly fella. Up he flies to the skies, no one heard his screams and cries. Through the clouds the rude wind pour him, and his hat flew on before him. Soon they got to such a height, they were nearly out of sight, and the hat went up so high that it nearly touched the sky. No one ever yet could tell where they stopped or where they fell. Only this one thing is plain, Bob was never seen again. This story is scary. Just the thought of you going outside in a storm, taking you away Mary Poppins style. That's depressing. And this story came out before Mary Poppins was even created. This is depressing. Anyway, those were the stories basically. My final thoughts, final verdict. It's a very grim book. Shockheaded has always been a fascination of mine because of how grim it is. It's a grim children's book, and I'm actually curious because of the poll. If you'd like for me to discuss Max and Moritz, I can do it as well. But for me to do that, this video must at least get like one like. At least one like. That's all I'm asking. So, see you soon.